Because even those people who think they know everything, they don't know anything about this path. You can't read about it in books. You have to walk the path in order to know what it's like. It's nothing like anything else. It's nothing like anything else. So different. Different challenges. But it's worth, it depends on how deep you want to go into it. But it's still, even if you don't want to go too deep, it's still worth clinging on to it. Because even if you, no matter how much you reject it, this dunya is only limited time. It's going to end eventually. And then you need to face the next life. And there's got to be a next life. You can't say there won't be. Quran explicitly describes that life. You can't deny that. A lot of people who came before, they wished that there wasn't a next life. And this would be the end. This life would be the end of it. But you can't wish anything. So you've got two forces. One is your nafs, which is pulling you and convincing you that there isn't any. It's just fairy tales. Next life is nothing. It's just a made-up thing. But you've got the rule on the other side. And it's only when you follow this path that nafs is pulling you to one side, and the rule is to the other side. The rule is not pulling you towards any side. But when the nafs is pulling you towards a different direction, it's the direction that, because your rule is now active, and it's got strength in it. If it pulls you towards if nafs pulls you towards the dunya and you fall into it, then there's repercussions for it. Because the rule becomes ill. Now that it's got strength in it and is active, and when it becomes ill, you see the signs of that illness on the body, on the nafs. You see the signs of it on the nafs. Normally, if the ruh is not active and is weak, then you could do pretty much anything, and you'll not see any signs of it. You still see it, but you don't. You don't feel it. Obviously, clearly, people become ill. They have different diseases. Otherwise, there wouldn't be any hospitals. There wouldn't be any doctors. So they clearly become ill. The body becomes ill. But you don't realize the illness after some time. This is where the difference is. When the ruh is active, fully in strength, it's because you just remember where it's coming from. where the root is, where the root originates from. If you go to its roots, its root is قُلِ الرُّوحُ مِنْ أَمْرِ رَبِّي. It's the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then you need to look at its root is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's command. So it originates, no matter how much you deny, or you could say all sorts of things. You could define that command in whatever way you want. But at the end of the day, it originates directly from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because everything else is kun fayakun. This is the ruh min amri of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then you need to look at and see, who is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? His attributes. So because it originates, as I said, you could define the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in any whatever way you want to define that, interpret that. But it still goes back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, originates from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in some form or the other. And then you need to look at, see who is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What kind of attributes he has. And on the other hand, you've got the jism, the body. Where does that originate from? Yes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it from his own, as it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is free from hands, but it's described in the description that we find is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself created, personally, humans, made him, Where does that come from? It didn't originate directly from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the way that the soul originated. But where does the body originate from? Yes, everything is created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it's from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even the clay and where you come from as a body came from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The way that the soul is described, its origin is not the same as the jism, the body. And then you look at the root of the jism, the body, the root, the soul, sorry. And the origin of the nafs. Nafs is the combination of soul and body put together, and that forms the nafs. But the body comes from clay, which is from the ground. Then we need to look at the attributes of the ground, the floor, the soil. You see, this is where we go right deep into it. What kind of attributes that the soil has? It grows harmful things, and it grows good things as well, unharmful things. But the soul origin is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and there's no harmful that could come from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Only good comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You understand? So everything, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's attributes, many attributes. But those attributes are if you go deep into those attributes, they all are good attributes. Nothing bad or nothing harmful comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But the soil, if you go back into it, it grows harmful things, and it also grows beneficial things. Hence, our body exists. Some of the things that the soil grows what's one of the things that the product of one of the things is what? Nuclear weapon. They use the growth from the ground, doesn't it? At the end of the day, it doesn't come from heaven, does it? It's all the substances that are used in the warfare, modern day warfare. They are, apart from metal, apart from iron. Iron comes, as we learned that iron comes from heaven. It doesn't grow from the ground, from the earth. It comes from outside this planet. It originates from outside this planet that we know. So everything else, the iron on its own, yes, we've got swords and things like that, but the biggest threat to human life is the nuclear weapon. The substance that are used in nuclear weapon, they are from this dunya, from this earth. They don't originate from outside this earth. Do they originate from outside this earth? Nuclear, all the substance that are used in the nuclear could destroy the whole, planet. So these are the harmful things that originate from this planet. And far, it's the same planet where we originate from. So you've got two of the soul and the nafs, the ruh and the nafs. But when we go to going back to what I was saying in the beginning, is that when the ruh is active and you go to different places, you feel the effect of it. But when the ruh is not, it doesn't have, ruh never dies, the soul never dies, it's always living. But obviously it's living in a weak state, or it's living in a healthy state, in a strength state. These are the only two differences. And the strength is based on how much worship you do to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when you go to different places, different areas, and the ruh is in a state of strength, it's telling you something. You'll get a headache, or you'll get some sort of different signs saying that. So when the ruh is in a very weak state, which vast majority of people is the case, you don't feel anything. You don't feel anything. You don't only feel anything, but you have the perception. But when you do feel anything, you just think, I don't want to have my soul active because I'm feeling uncomfortable. And you've got on one side, I'm just trying to give you a scenario. And it's very difficult because when you're talking about soul, it's very difficult to explain in words. Because it's beyond words. You can't describe what I'm just trying to describe to you. It's very difficult to describe. You've got an active soul, which is telling you, giving you signs when you do certain things, or go to certain places, or when you talk to certain people, and it's giving you signs. It's telling you, you're feeling something there. But when your soul is not active, you don't feel anything. You could just do whatever you want. The danger is that you don't feel anything and you live life as if nothing's happened to you. Which is the better state? Going about doing routine things, not feeling anything, or feeling everything, opposite. Which is better? What do you think? You just hear what I'm trying to ask you, or you don't? You just understand what I'm trying to say. You've got one state, you're doing zikr in your soul, you're doing zikr on your life, which is part of the soul. You do. And your ruh has got strength in it. When you go to certain places, you talk to different people, you feel either sick or you feel some certain signs. But when you don't do zikr, you don't feel any sickness, you don't feel any signs. Which state is better?
Sickness one. Kind of, because it helps you stay away from the stuff that's not good for you. If something's not good for you, it'll make you feel ill. Sick.
So state of sickness where you feel where your soul is active and it's got strength in it, and it's warning you that there's something not right about this place, or it's warning you there's not something right about this place. Be prepared to do something about it. But you've got the other side of it. In which case do you think it would not be a good thing? In what scenario would that be? Would it not be a good thing? From Duniya's point of view. I'm talking about the next slide. From Duniya's point of view, in what scenario do you think that wouldn't be a good thing?
If you need to go to work. If you need to go to work.
If you need to go to work and you need to get on with other people, that's going to cause you problems, isn't it? But it's down to you in that case about how far you want to go with it. But I'm just generally talking about these are the other things that will cause you, but I'm talking about generally for your own self, not people around you. And if you had a choice, obviously it's warning you that there's something wrong in this place, you should keep away from it, or be prepared to do something about it afterwards. If you need to be here, that's fine, be there for as long as you want, but there's something not right about it. And when you move away from it and go to your own place, be prepared to remove these things from you. Do your mamalat. In which scenario do you think that this, from Duniya's point of view, would the position of not having the root active be okay? If somebody gives you if somebody says, if you've got a situation where, if your ruh is not active and you go to all the places, do you think those people whose ruh is not active, are they immune from illness? They're not immune from illness, are they? They become ill. They have illnesses, not straight away, but some time afterwards. Yeah, the same illnesses. So if they didn't have these illnesses and you only became ill as a result of having the root active, then in that scenario, then you have an excuse and say, okay, I don't want to do this because I'm just thinking about this dunya only, this dunya for the sake of this dunya, for the benefit of this dunya. Do you understand? Obviously, the zikr's benefit are far greater in terms of remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the benefit you will have after this life. But I'm just putting that to one side. Just for the benefit of this dunya, the only scenario that you would find that this may not be a good thing is if those people who don't do, whose soul isn't active and they stay healthy. They don't have any diseases, no problem in their life. Depression or otherwise. Do you understand? Because what the soul is telling you, that you're not going to only have illness. What I mean illness is, the illness is not just medical illness in terms of your health, in terms of the diseases. I'm talking about the illnesses of spirit, of depression, anxiety, mental health. These are the illnesses. when you are mixing with certain people, they have those illnesses. And when your rules activity is telling you that this person or this place or whatever it is, it's not telling you, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is infinite mercy, it's not pointing you, especially, unless you are at a very high level, it will point to exact place or exact person and say, this is the person that's causing you ill. People stay away from them. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keeping the knowledge of that person or that place secret for their security. But when you reach a certain level, then Allah discloses that knowledge to you as well. So at what point Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala discloses that knowledge to us? Why is that knowledge is kept secret from us until you reach a certain level? Because I'm going too fast now. So why is that knowledge kept secret from us about that person or place? Do you know? Because you see, these are the things that, as I said, you need to remember. Because a lot of people slip really easily from this path. Because the Nafs and Shaitan's standing waiting to slip them. So why is that knowledge? You're sitting in a group of people and you're becoming ill, but you don't realize, you don't know what's causing you that illness, for example. Is it a place, is it a person, or is it if people, and if it is people, a rich person? All that information is not, you don't know that information until you reach a certain level in the closeness of Allah, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So why is that knowledge kept secret from you? So you realize the knowledge of, you've been given a knowledge of a certain amount, but you've still not been given the knowledge, in-depth knowledge. So why is that in-depth knowledge not being given to you? Or the place, what there was, because you've been to different places, it may just be that inch of space that had issue. Everything else was okay. But you don't know. Maybe there was 10 people and every one of them, 9 of them were okay and one person. But you don't know. You felt uneasy, uncomfortable there. So why is that knowledge of one particular person being hidden from you, that person had an issue? I've given you a clue now.
Because you can't handle it.
Almost there, you can't handle it, but what's not right about in you? What's not?
If Allah told that person, and that person that was the level there, if they told the person, probably the person will probably won't understand, and then they say that no, I don't want to do that, then I don't need you like that.
No, but there's something not right about you. You're both right in some sense. There's not something. What's that person who's reached level 10, for example, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala disclosed everything to him. But there's another person who's on level 5 or 4 or 3 or 2, or even 7, and he's not disclosing to him. So what's the person on the level 10 has that the other people don't have it?
He's got more experience. He's dealt with more stuff than the level 1. He's dealt with more stuff than the person below us, so you can accept it.
No.
He's got a better control of his nafs.
It comes down to nafs. Because he's annihilated his nafs. Annihilation of nafs is not strictly meaning that it's dead. The nafs, the only time the nafs dies is when his death happens. See, there's so when the person on the 10th level, he compared to the person who's on a lower level, he's still in a state. His nafs is still into backbiting. And causing embarrassment to people, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't want. them to do that. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't, He has knowledge about all of us. Maybe there are things that we do and nobody else knows. Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows. Allah doesn't disclose that knowledge to everybody. That's His infinite mercy and kindness, that He keeps things secret. But when that person reaches that level, that his nafs is no longer his nafs becomes of the highest level, which is, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes in the Quran. يا أيها النفس المطمئنة ارجعي إلى ربك راضية مرضية فادخلي في عبادي وادخلي جنتي. When the nafs reaches that level, when Allah, he becomes pleased with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it reaches the level of, purity. So when he reaches the level where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes the person, and these Qudsi, that his hands become his. He becomes his hands, he becomes his eyes, he becomes his everything. So his attributes, in another sense, are pure. And causing any level of harm or embarrassment to anybody is not something that he's interested in anymore. So then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala discloses, whether he discloses that thing to him or doesn't disclose to him, it's irrelevant. The only time that he will do anything for that person is only to help him, or do dua for him, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to cure him or her. Other than that, he will not go around telling his friends and family and say, this person is really bad, don't stand next to him. Because that's what we will do if we have that knowledge, won't we? Do you understand, Rams? Do you understand? So the only time you can have an excuse and say, okay, I don't want to have my soul being active and feeling uncomfortable. Because if I'm feeling that, going through that pain, then I don't want it. Only if you don't have that and you don't have any diseases. Those people whose soul is not active, they're not immune from any issues, medical issues or mental issues. They're not immune from it. They are. The only difference is that they're going to find out later on. Whether it's the active who is telling you now straight away to do something, and you can avoid the later on situation. Sometimes you can succeed, sometimes you can't. Because there are other things in your life that would prevent you from taking action to do anything about it, because you're too busy in life. You can't do anything. But you've been warned about it. Or it was the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that has to happen. Do you understand? So, as far as the work is concerned, when you go to work and you can become uncomfortable, this is the reason why I'm saying to you, is that until you keep in your mind that this is the path you want to, keep asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for this path. And then, because if you dive into this path and not explore things around you, then the danger is, if you're not 100% certain of this path, that you're going to fall into the trap of nafs and shaitan and say, look at this person who's doing this and that, and you could have been doing that, rather than wasting time in doing this. Whereas if you've seen it, you've explored it, okay, I've been there, done it, hold the shirt, that's it. This is what I'm doing now. Do you understand? So for that, this is why I say to you, do the zikr as much as you feel comfortable with. Keep doing it. Don't let it go. Because once you let it go, you may not be able to come back. And we've seen the people who left, they've never been able to come back.